Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, good morning, happy Tuesday. Today, Tuesday, February 7th, Tuesday of the 5th week in Ordinary Time. The first reading yesterday was taken from the book of Genesis. It was the beginning of the book of Genesis, the first few pages of the book of Genesis that contain what's called the Genesis creation narrative. The creation narrative, description of how God created heaven and earth, created the universe. And we'll be reading the book of Genesis for the next couple of weeks. So we'll hear creation of Adam and Eve, the fall of Adam and Eve, sin of disobedience of Adam and Eve, and so forth. The book of Genesis is a very beautiful and poetic book, very symbolic one. It contains symbolic descriptions. So let us start by saying what the book of Genesis is not. The book of Genesis is not a textbook of science. The book of Genesis does not contain a detailed description of what happened at the beginning of the universe. As you know, the book of Genesis says that God created heaven and earth in 6 days and he rested on the seventh day. Of course, the days here in the book of Genesis are not the days of a week, the days of 24 hours, as we know them. By saying that God created the universe in 7 days, Genesis wants to tell us that God created everything in stages, in time. It staggers his creation in time. And so this is something also that science says, knowledge, that life developed in time. Creation and stars came to be, and then planets, life from a planet, and then man. And this is pretty much the sequence that Genesis and describes, the sequence that Genesis has in its narrative. And also Genesis tells us that God created everything and he found everything good. After God makes something, Genesis says that God looked at what he had made and he found it good. So creation is good. There is a goodness in what God has made. Creation is structured, is ordered. God put order into chaos. Creation is harmonious. There is one component of creation, one creature, which is unique though, very different from all the other creatures, everything else that God has made. And is man. Man is the only creature of whom God says, does make this creature in our image, after our likeness. So God created man in his image, says Genesis, in a divine image. He created him. Man and female, male and female created them. So God created us like him, in his image. And then Genesis says that God blessed man and said, be fertile and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, have dominion over the fish of the sea, the birds of the air, and everything else that I have made. God gave man authority over everything he has made. God appointed man as his steward to carry on his work here on earth. So we have authority over everything, but also great responsibility of being stewards of God, carrying out God's creative work, keep carrying it out on our earth. So this is what Genesis is about. But there is one element, of course, that Genesis will introduce later on, which we see too often in our world, which is an element that seems to invalidate what God has made, which is evil. Evil, God made everything good, but there is evil, suffering, pain, death, and sin in the world. So what does this evil? Where did evil come from? Yesterday we unfortunately had a dramatic, powerful, and sad example of evil. The earthquake in Syria and Turkey. Suffering, evil, and death. This earthquake killed thousands of people. I was asking myself, why? If God has made everything and it's good, why evil? Why this earthquake? So Genesis addresses this question, saying that evil entered into the world after creation as a conscious and free and voluntary decision of man that brought evil, suffering, death into the world. So death, pain, suffering did not belong to the original creation, but entered into the world later on in a mysterious way. So then, of course, Genesis gives an explanation of why and how, not why, how evil entered into the world, but this is a reality that we have to face, the reality of evil. It seems to invalidate the goodness of creation, but it's not. Creation is still good. Jesus came precisely to cast this evil away, to cancel this evil from the world, and to bring the universe back to original goodness. Thank you and God bless.